Hey guys, today we're going to be playing Spider-Man and Venom Separation Anxiety for the Sega Genesis, which is a sequel to Maximum Carnage. I've been wondering lately why none of the movies ever feature Carnage as a villain. Maybe it's because Venom got botched so bad in Spider-Man 3. Who knows? Maybe Carnage will be featured in the new movies. And speaking of which, I saw the trailer for the upcoming Amazing Spider-Man 2, which is kind of what motivated me to play this game. Personally, the trailer really didn't do anything for me. Kind of like the trailer for the first Amazing Spider-Man, which is a movie I never saw because said trailer did nothing for me. I mean, the guy they got to play Peter Parker, I think his name is Andrew Garfield or something like that. Based on what I've seen of him in the trailers, he kind of sucks. He kind of comes across as Peter Parker by way of Edward Cullen from the Twilight series. I haven't seen a trace of any Peter Parker or Spider-Man in any of the trailers I've seen for these new movies. Call me crazy, but I think Tobey Maguire nailed it in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. Also, am I the only one that sees something seriously wrong with Jamie Foxx playing Electro? I mean, I'm not the most well-versed guy when it comes to the Spider-Man comics, partially because I prefer Batman, but I don't recall a single version of Electro that was a black man. I'm not trying to be racist or anything, but if you're gonna cast an actor to play a fairly well-known comic book character, you should at least pick somebody that is the right ethnicity. I mean, this kind of reminds me of when they were talking about casting Will Smith as Captain America. I got nothing against Will Smith, but thankfully that didn't end up happening. I also think I picked up a little bit of a Spider-Man 3 vibe from that trailer, in the sense that it feels like they're cramming too many villains into this thing. You got Electro, Green Goblin, and Rhino in this movie. I'm just afraid they're going to bog the film down with too many villains to the point of bloating the story with too much shit and making the inclusion of one of those villains pointless. Which, again, is kind of like what happened with Venom in Spider-Man 3. Out of the 3 villains that are in the movie, they probably should have gotten rid of Rhino, seeing as how he was the least significant of the 3. It kind of feels like they shoehorned him in there, you know? Kind of like how an alien backstory was going to be shoehorned into the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. And speaking of that, thank fucking Christ almighty that stupid alien planet backstory got ditched from the new TMNT movie. Coming from a huge fan of the franchise, I would have been pissed as shit if they actually ran with that. I mean, that's my fucking childhood you would have been ruining, Michael Bay. I didn't watch a whole lot of Transformers growing up, so the stuff you did with those movies didn't really bother me all that much. But I could see where it would have angered the loyal fan base. Granted, Michael Bay won't be directing the new TMNT, but he'll be an executive producer, so you know he's going to have quite a bit of creative control. I really don't know why they're making a new live-action TMNT movie anyway. What about making a sequel to the 2007 CG animated movie? The ending to that film left things wide open for a Dark Knight style sequel with Shredder as the main villain. How cool would that have been? But no. Instead, we're getting a live action, surely CG heavy reboot courtesy of Michael fucking Bay's shitty ass Platinum Dunes. I mean, what's next? Is Bay gonna get his grubby hands on and ruin the Beavis and Butthead franchise while he's at it. I'm sure he could force some explosions and car chases and all kinds of other special effects into it. And that's another thing. Why the fuck did MTV cancel Beavis and Butthead? So what? They brought it back for one fucking season only to axe it? I was hyped for that shit. I would have loved to see their take on modern music, as a good lot of it needs to be bashed in the style that only Beavis and Butthead could do. I've heard rumors that Mike Judge is considering making any new seasons of the show exclusively for Hulu, but so far nothing's been confirmed. I hope that ends up happening, because Beavis and Butthead is still the shit. What I really hope, though, is that if it does happen, Hulu keeps the same episode format of story segments intercut with music video watching segments, because for me, the music video segments were the best part. I loved seeing those two guys bash the shit out of sucky music. But of course, since MTV is moving as far away from music videos as possible, it's not surprising why they canceled it. I don't even know why MTV is even still called MTV. They should just change its name to RTV, because pretty much all of their fucking programs are shitty-ass reality shows. At this point, somebody should just acquire the rights to some of MTV's old music video-oriented shows, like Headbangers Ball, and release that shit on DVD or Blu-ray. You know what else they should do? They should release some of the old QVC archive footage on DVD and or Blu-ray. It'd be funny to see some of those shopping network infomercials of shitty products again, like the infomercial of the Philips CDI. Watching the on-air salespeople do their best to try to sell that shitty-ass system. I'm not sure if it was QVC that had those, but I know it was one of those home shopping networks. It doesn't really matter, though, because most of those channels just sell junk anyway. But anyways, I remember renting this game from Blockbuster as a kid. You know, I'm so fucking glad Blockbuster is going out of business. Even back in the day, I knew their rental prices were absolutely outrageous. They charged nearly, I think it was $4.30 for you to rent something for just 2 fucking days. I would often go to a place called, I think it was Video Games Express, and rent a game for the same amount of time for less than what Blockbuster would charge for a damn late fee, let alone the original rental price. Fuck Blockbuster Video. My girlfriend is so lucky that she never rented any games from Blockbuster. But then again, the very first console she had any real investment in was the PS2. Yes, I'm dating a woman 9 years my junior. Want to fight about it? It's a damn shame she never got to experience the golden age of gaming, though. Because she was born so late and got into games late, her gaming sensibilities aren't as fine-tuned as mine or anybody else that grew up during that old school period. I think if I ever have a kid, I'm going to introduce them to the old school games before they're able to play the current games. I would want a child of mine to have the same gaming skill set as I do, if not better. Well, with that, that's Spider-Man and Venom Separation Anxiety on the Sega Genesis. Spider-Man returns to theaters May 2014. In all seriousness, regarding the latest episode of James and Mike Mondays, where they played Godzilla Unleashed for the PS2, I have to ask, what the fuck was that? That was probably the biggest waste of time I've experienced from watching an online video in a long fucking time. Out of the near 20 minutes of the video, they talked about the game they were playing for maybe a grand total of 2.5 minutes, and that figure is probably very generous. The rest of it was just them rambling about various topics, most of which had nothing whatsoever to do with the game they were playing, let alone Godzilla. And I don't care if it was unscripted, it was still painful even by unscripted standards. Granted, a good chunk of the video was dedicated to them discussing their thoughts about the recent trailer for the new American Godzilla film, but even that was excessive. If you want to talk about that trailer, that's fine, but given that you're playing a game, said discussions should be in brief bursts, not roughly half the damn video. Or here's a novel concept. Dedicate a separate video to talking about your thoughts and feelings about the new Godzilla trailer. I mean, did you just forget you were playing a video game? How does talking about that sound? What are your thoughts about the graphics? How are the controls? What can you do in the game? How do you do certain things in the game? What kind of game modes are there? What are some of the game's problems? How does the game compare to the other similar Godzilla fighting games out there? I personally never played that game before, so it would be nice to hear an opinion on it from a reputable internet personality before I decide to get it and play it for myself. When I watch a Let's Play video or any other kind of video dedicated to playing a game, the only commentary I give a shit about is that which is related to the game being played. I don't care about what your expert opinion is about the trailer for the new Godzilla movie. I don't care about the history of the Godzilla films. I don't care about fucking Full House. I don't care about the fact that certain seasons of Family Matters aren't on DVD. I don't care that you think somebody should release Weather Channel archives on Blu-ray. None of that pointless, stupid shit is entertaining or enlightening in the context of the game you're playing, which is the whole damn reason you're making the video to begin with. Without the gameplay, you might as well just change the name of the video series to James and Mike Babble About Random Shit for 20 minutes on Mondays. I don't think you'd get anywhere near the views you get now if you changed it to that format. But then again, given the absurdly positive response the fanboys have been giving to this heap of shit video, I may be sorely mistaken on that. This show has the potential to be a decent alternate video series in comparison to the Angry Video Game Nerd, but you guys aren't going to reach that potential if you don't exercise some goddamn quality control. This isn't the first video in this series that I've taken issue with, but compared to this, those other videos that contain huge mistakes look like fucking masterpieces. At least in those other videos, you made an effort to focus on the game and the game's elements. Look, I mean no ill will to Cinemassacre whatsoever. In fact, I consider myself a fan. Maybe not as big of a fan as I once was, seeing as how the quality of the AVGN series has gone down significantly, but I'm still a fan, damn it. And as a fan, all I gotta say is this shit was nearly unbearable. I'm sure the legions of fanboys will be happy to tell me why they disagree in their ever so pants-shittingly intelligible way. Unfortunately for them, though, objectivity is a motherfucker. I just hope I never have to see an utter disaster piece of a video like that from James and Mike again. Hope this constructive criticism was helpful to you, James. The great exposer has spoken.